From Dallas, Texas, the flash, apparently official, President Kennedy died at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time, 2 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, some 38 minutes ago. Vice President Lyndon Johnson has left the hospital in Dallas, but we do not know to where he has proceeded. Presumably, he will be taking the oath of office shortly and become the 36th President of the United States.
What you just watched was a historic moment in American broadcasting. The CBS News Bulletin from November 22nd, 1963, when Walter Cronkite, with a steady yet somber voice, informed the entire nation and the world that President John F. Kennedy had died after being shot in Dallas, Texas. That moment marked a big turning point in history, and for decades thereafter, questions about what really happened have lingered. But on Tuesday, following orders from President Trump, the National Archives released tens of thousands of digital documents related to JFK's assassination. And now they're available online for historians and conspiracy theorists alike to scrutinize. These documents are now shedding fresh light on the assassination, revealing previously undisclosed details that could rewrite the story we thought we knew. But to understand the significance of these files, let's first turn to our executive producer, Cameron Malstrom, to help us revisit the timeline of that tragic autumn day. Cameron, please walk us through it.
Thank you, Riley. Now, before we get into all of the crazy conspiracy theories, I just wanted to stick to the facts regarding what happened on November 22nd, 1963. At 11:40 a.m., Air Force One lands at Love Field in Dallas, and President Kennedy is greeted by a cheering crowd alongside First Lady Jacqueline Kennedy, Texas Governor John Connally, and Connally's wife, Nellie. The visit is part of a 2-day trip to Texas to bolster support for his 1964 re-election campaign. About 10 minutes later, his presidential motorcade departs Love Field and begins its 10-mile route planned through downtown Dallas to the Trade Mart, where Kennedy is scheduled to speak. The open-top Lincoln Continental carries the Kennedys and Connallys, with Secret Service agents Bill Greer driving and Roy Kellerman in the front passenger seat. About 40 minutes later, as the motorcade passes through Dealey Plaza, shots ring out. Not only is Governor Connally hit by a bullet that pierces his back, chest, wrist, and thigh, but President Kennedy is also struck twice, once in the upper back, exiting through his throat, and once in the head, a fatal wound. Chaos erupts as Secret Service agent Clint Hill leaps into the car to shield Mrs. Kennedy as it speeds off to Parkland Memorial Hospital. Witnesses report hearing 3 shots, with most of them pointing to the 6th floor of the Texas School Book Depository. A 24-year-old employee at the depository named Lee Harvey Oswald slips out of the building's front door unnoticed in all of the confusion. The motorcade arrives at the hospital, and doctors rush Kennedy into Trauma Room 1. Governor Connally, seriously wounded, survives after surgery, but the president's injuries are catastrophic. A gaping wound in the back of his head and a small hole in his throat. Efforts to save him, including a tracheotomy, fail, and at 1 p.m., Kennedy is pronounced dead. About 15 minutes later, Oswald, now blocks away and resembling the suspect described over police radio, shoots and kills Dallas police officer J.D. Tippit with a revolver after Tippit stops him on a street in the Oak Cliff neighborhood of the city. Witnesses see Oswald flee into the nearby Texas Theater. Police then surround the movie theater, and Oswald is taken into custody after officers subdue him while pulling his gun during the arrest. At 2:38 p.m., aboard Air Force One, Kennedy's Vice President Lyndon B. Johnson is sworn in as the 36th President of the United States. Jacqueline Kennedy, still in her blood-stained clothes, stands beside him as he takes the oath of office. The plane departs Dallas with Kennedy's casket on board, bound for Washington, D.C. Oswald is formally charged with the assassination of President Kennedy after hours of interrogation, during which he denies everything. Evidence mounts. A rifle is found on the depository's 6th floor, linked to Oswald via mail order records under his alias, A. Hiddle. Oswald maintains his innocence, famously telling reporters this.
I don't know what this is all about.
Kill the president?
No, sir, I didn't. People keep asking me that. Sir?
You shoot the president?
I work in that building.
Were you in the building at the time?
Naturally, if I work in that building, yes, sir.
Back up, man. Did you shoot the president?
No, they're taking me in because of the fact that I lived in the Soviet Union. I'm just a patsy.
President?
2 days later, as Oswald is being transferred from the city jail to the county jail, Dallas nightclub owner Jack Ruby steps out of a crowd of onlookers in the police basement and in front of live television cameras does the unthinkable.
Here is the prisoner. Do you have anything to say in your defense? There is a shot. Oswald has been shot. Oswald has been shot.
Oswald is pronounced dead after emergency surgery fails to save him. Ruby is immediately arrested, claiming he acted to spare Jacqueline Kennedy the pain of a trial. The nation reels as the accused assassin is killed just before he can face justice. Ruby is charged with murdering Oswald, and speculation explodes about why Ruby did what he did. Was it grief, rage, or something more sinister? After a trial marked by Ruby's erratic behavior and claims of a broader plot, he's convicted of Oswald's murder and sentenced to death. Ruby appeals, arguing he was in a state of temporary insanity. The following September, the Warren Commission, established by President Johnson to investigate the assassination, releases its report and concludes that Oswald acted alone. They also concluded that Ruby acted alone in killing Oswald, but the findings do little to quiet conspiracy theories. Ruby's health deteriorates rapidly, and on January 3rd, 1967, he dies of lung cancer, taking any secrets with him to the grave.